It's Lena, and I have thoughts.
And it's Logan, and I have opinions.
You're here to hear those thoughts and opinions.
These are our unfiltered pop culture takes.
This is Hear Me and Hear Me Good. Spoiler alert. The Golden Globes are for both TV and movies. On the movie side of things, they have shown some diversity. So I want to talk about the most notable snub, in my opinion, on the TV side of things in the Golden Globes, and that is Lovecraft Country.
Like, really? That's why I don't pop with awards right there. That's why I don't.
It was nominated as a show, but none of the actors.
That doesn't make sense to me.
Not Journey Smollett, not Jonathan Majors, not Wunmi Mosaku, and she worked every outfit. She should have just got nominated for that. For being a girl that wasn't a size 1 who was working it.
Yes.
Oh, and melanin was popping, and she was working it, not being a size 2. So she's won the award in my mind, even though she wasn't nominated. And we cannot leave out Ingenue Ellis for being nude on screen. And as a woman of a certain age with a certain body type, I felt represented.
Oh my gosh, yes.
I have never felt more seen.
Yes.
When she was naked on that screen, I was like, that looked like my body when I'm getting out the shower in the morning and have to face the mirror every day, because who designed this bathroom with a mirror across from the shower so you can't avoid your naked self?
I'm sure it was a man. But even still, her entire journey through that show, like, how do you snub in such a way that this cast, and it's not even like it's an all-black cast, this was a major production.
And it was so well done.
So well done.
And because the line that stood out for me the most from especially the Hippolyta episode with Ingenue was when she said, I feel like they just found a smart way to lynch me without me noticing the noose.
Exactly. Oh my God. That line alone resonated with me in such a way. Like, I live that every single day of my life.
And in that episode too, when she went from being with Josephine Baker and she went to being with her husband, who was now deceased in the show, and she said she was talking about how he too held her back. And as a Black woman, I really felt like it was depicting some truth, because we're not just dealing with the white world putting an invisible noose around our neck. We're also dealing with our Black spouses or significant others that are holding us back too. We're dealing with it on kind of two fronts sometimes. Even our spouses may not even intentionally be doing it.
Right.
His name was George, right?
Yes.
George tried to deny it, and he thought about it for a second, and he was like, you know what, you're right. I did.
I appreciated that too. And I feel like she needed that closure.
Right, because he was able to go and do what he wanted to do, what he felt he needed to do, because, and he said this, because he knew that she was keeping everything safe at home.
Right.
By her staying home and keeping everything safe, she couldn't go and do what she wanted to do.
Right.
It was both society as a whole and him who were just suppressing her and making her feel small. I promise you, I was crying during that episode because I was like, oh my God, this is the exact thing that I have been saying to myself.
Oh my gosh.
I have always felt so
minimized. You just continue to minimize yourself.
Exactly. But let's put a pin in this, because I feel that we're going to have a similar discussion.
I know we are.
When we talk about Malcolm and Marie.
No, we are. Everything is leading to the journey of this Malcolm and Marie. Yes, it is.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. So,
but in the end, I mean, to me, that was a very, like you said, that line was extremely impactful and powerful. And the fact that they just, in a sense, snubbed the cast, it just makes me feel that either Lovecraft country was not presented to the forefront for whoever the heck these people are that decide these nominations, but also it wasn't even on your radar. And if you saw it, that went over your head and it didn't even resonate or mean anything to you what she was saying. Because yes, that's as a Black woman, but you could broaden the spectrum. That's all women
Right.
feel like they minimize themselves and do all of those things.
Mhm.
But since it's a
Mhm.
Black woman saying it, it's like, oh, that message isn't for me.
Not even just that it was a Black woman. It was a middle-aged Black woman saying these things, cuz let's not leave out the ageism.
Yes, let's not leave that out.
But it wasn't even just Lovecraft Country, because it was also, even though I've not watched this, I've heard a lot of great things about it. I just can't watch it because I don't. I'm dealing with enough emotions on my own on a regular basis. I can't deal with other people's emotions like that. But the oh shoot, what's the show with the chick from Chewing Gum?
She has a show?
Oh, what is the? Yeah, it's on HBO too. I think that HBO, some of those shows that they put out are just got snubbed
Is it
real
because it's
hard.
on HBO Max?
Well, no, because it wasn't on HBO Max. Like, I want to say, like, Lovecraft was just on regular HBO, and so was I May Destroy You, Michaela Cole's I May Destroy
Oh,
You.
I've not seen that. I've heard of it though.
And it's dealing with sexual assault and the trauma from that. And I have heard that it is so excellent, but I have to be in the right space. I have to be in a good mental space in order to watch something like that. And I've not been in a high enough mental space to watch somebody else's trauma bring me down. But that got snubbed. Hear Me and Hear Me Good, the Golden Globes are hella white. So another piece of news is Joss Whedon. Are you familiar with him? No. Okay, I didn't think that you would be.
You knew I wasn't.
Well, because you're not into geekdom, and he's a well-known name in geekdom. And you are familiar with some of his work, the TV series Buffy,
Okay.
as well as the first Avengers movie and the second Avengers movie, Avengers Age of Ultron. Because of Buffy and some other shows that he did, he was heralded as like a feminist, right? But then a few years ago, his ex-wife was like, he's not a feminist at all. And then Ray Fisher, who was in the Justice League movie and who is Black, came out last year saying the set was toxic on the movie Justice League
Oh.
when Joss took over. So, real brief history here. Zack Snyder was directing, and there was a tragedy in his family, and he had to step away from it. And they brought in Joss Whedon to finish it up. At that point in time, when Zack Snyder was doing it, Ray Fisher had a big role. His character had a big role in the movie. When Joss Whedon came on, it was barely anything. Ray Fisher came out and said that there was an abuse of power.
Wow.
And it was a hostile work environment. Other people who were on the set too, such as Jason Momoa, says yes, it was not a fun place to work. It was toxic. So another actress, Charisma Carpenter, who was on both Buffy and its spinoff Angel, has come out to say she backs Ray Fisher in everything that he says, that she participated in an investigation that Warner Brothers did into Joss Whedon on Justice League by giving her experience with working with him.
What?
And so she made a post on social media giving specifics about what he did, such as called her fat when she was 126 pounds and 4 months pregnant.
Oh. But wait a minute, these movies that you are talking about, these movies are very old, right? Am I making that up?
Yeah, Justice League came out like maybe 2017, and the Zack Snyder version of it, a 4-hour long version of it, is coming out in March on HBO Max. So it's still relevant. Buffy is yes old.
No, not even that. The movies, when stuff like that happens, in my opinion, 3 years later for you to, it finally be coming out, the moment that there is a scandal with an athlete, I'll use that as an example. that stuff hit the media before it's even confirmed. This is how 3 years. There's an investigation.
Yeah, the investigation was last year. But since then, since the investigation, which Ray Fisher says Warner Brothers did not handle properly, and I don't know all the details as to whether or not they did or not, but here's one thing that I do know is that because one of the enablers of Joss Whedon is still with Warner Brothers,
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
Ray Fisher has been fired from playing the character of Cyborg. So he's not going to be Cyborg in the upcoming Flash movie.
I bet. Wonder why.
He's lost work, and that's part of why you don't come forward. That's part of why Charisma Carpenter didn't come forward. There's lots of things that he did to her, including the fact that he did fire her by writing her character off the show after she had the baby.
See, and that's what I mean.
Sarah Michelle Gellar, who was the star of the show Buffy, did, after Charisma made her statement, she made a simple statement that said, "While I am proud to have my name associated with Buffy Summers, I don't want to be forever associated with the name Joss Whedon. And I stand by any victims of that have suffered abuse."
Right.
And then one of the other co-stars on the show, who came on as the younger sister of Buffy and was 15 when she started the show, came out with a statement saying that there was a rule that she could not be alone in a room with Joss Whedon, and this was after some type of incident that they did not go into specifics about. And that was back in 2001. So he's been getting away with. It's not only that he's been getting away with it for a long time. It is also that during this time that all of this stuff was going on, he was being pushed forward as a feminist, and he profited off of that because that's also how he sold himself.
Well, CBS had that story break about two of the executives. There we go. I'm sorry that escaped me. The executives in Philly,
Oh, I don't know
CBS
this.
did not hide from that story. They broke the story and they absolutely covered it for like the entire week on where CBS was with what in the process. Yes, the investigation is being conducted. Yes, CBS had to come out and say, this is not what we condone and all those things that you're supposed to say because you don't want to lose sponsors and the money in the grand scheme of things. However, this is what I don't like about any scandal. What is the true consequence? Because he will be allowed to fall to the backdrop and then ease his way back into it.
Even if he never gets another job, it's as simple as this. Okay, let's take Charisma Carpenter. He cut her off at the prime of her career.
After she had a baby.
Right, after she had a baby. So he's cut her off kind of in the prime of her career and kind of sabotaged her career. Ray Fisher, Cyborg, and Justice League was supposed to skyrocket him into success and stardom, kind of like Wonder Woman did for Gal Gadot.
And he was able to rob him of that.
And he was able to rob him of that. And now it makes it seem like he's difficult to work with because he's come out and spoken out against him. Even if it is right, he still is paying the price for that. It's kind of like John Boyega when he was speaking at one of the Black Lives Matter protests in the UK. He said, "I don't care if this ruins my career."
That's what happened. You can't speak out against anything at all whatsoever.
No, you can't. You can't speak up for yourself. You can't stand. Not even that you can't speak out. You can't speak up and say this is the BS that is happening, because what it'll come down to is that white males will cover for white males.
All the time. Jesus.
I just thought that it would be an interesting conversation. I know you don't really care about comic book news.
I'm not into comic book stuff. Right. Okay. But this is an issue that is worldwide. It's beyond an American issue. People, minorities are not allowed. We're not allowed to speak up for ourselves, and that is a very dehumanizing thing.
And if this is going on in a very public forum, such as the entertainment industry, imagine how bad it is for those of us who aren't in the public eye. that this is what we're dealing with behind the scenes. When we do speak up, we're shut down. I have seen this happen in corporate America with my own eyes.
Oh, yeah. I'm watching it happen to somebody I work with right now.
I've seen it happen where 20 women came forward to say, yes, this person has said things that have made me feel uncomfortable. This person has said sexually explicit things in my presence, etc., etc. And he literally got a week off paid. You basically gave him a vacation. It's what happens.
I just don't. It's it exactly. It's frustrating because
Hear me and hear me good. It's frustrating, especially to be a woman or to be black or to be a black woman.
I was about to say to be both.
That's the final word on that.
Amen.
Hear Me and Hear Me Good is hosted by Lena Hampton and Logan Chandler.